Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about toxic masculinity. How is it affecting the society? How is it affecting you at home, at your workplace, at your neighboring? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, Mr. Benjamin, you're helping us to understand something. I had asked you a question. Have you ever had a stiff neck?
And that's why I said, when you look at the head, we have the mouth, we have the ears, we have the nose, even the brain. Mm-hmm. But even though the head has all these things, it is held by the neck. Mm-hmm. And the neck is like the one that controls the head to move. Mm-hmm. But now the problem is, you can imagine if you reversed this, and then now the neck is on top and the head is on the...
We cannot reverse, but the head cannot move it.
But now this thing we call the girl child has made it to be like a reversed circle. It's like now they are becoming, you know, the reason why even... I'm sorry. I met one of my friends and then he told me about a place where he had gone for mm-hmm. some counseling. Mm-hmm. Then he found that the man was seriously beaten by the wife. Mm-hmm. And then he was thinking, how did it reach to this point that now the woman can beat the man? Mm-hmm. And then that's why I'm saying we have to think about where did we go wrong?
Help me to understand this and correct me where I'm going wrong. You're saying it's like the society has tried to change the neck to be on top of the head.
Not even the society. I think it's a problem that is originating from the hearts of people.
But from where I'm seated, I'm looking at it this way. It's not necessarily that, in as much as women are dominating, that the neck has to be on top of the head. Because even logically speaking, when you look at it, it doesn't make sense. But, like we have rightfully agreed, that the head cannot move without the neck.
Yes. Because
it helps. So, the other day I had a stiff neck. Just turning my head like this, I was like a robot, because my neck could not move. So in this sense, what I'm trying to say is, if moving my head because I'm having a stiff neck is a problem, then the head being the man, the neck being the woman, if we do not agree, like you've rightfully said, two cannot go together unless they agree. Then if you are, as the man is so dominant and saying, or so dictative, saying that this is the direction, with no room for negotiation or talking or agreeing to disagree, then you want us to move to this point. If you tell me to move as the neck, I won't move. I'll stand still. That is where the stiff neck comes in.
Which is very true. And it is the same way with the families. Look at the families that the woman does not agree, does not obey on anything. The man still is the same. No, these people don't move. It is the same way as you're saying, you are moving like the whole body. But when you are very okay, and then the neck is very okay, you can move anyhow, very easy.
Sure.
It is the same way with families that have that kind of a disagreement. Mm-hmm. You know, we are not talking about people who, you know, of course, when you live with your wife, there are many disagreements, and sometimes you disagree to agree.
Mm-hmm. True.
And sometimes, out of these fights and disagreements, mm-hmm. you make the bond even to become more strong. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you have to understand this one thing. If I keep on praising you, Eunice, there is kind of pride that comes in you.
Don't you think it's a two-way?
It's true. Mm-hmm. And this pride, mm-hmm. the Bible says also, pride goes before destruction, mm-hmm. or even before a fall. Mm-hmm. So when you look at people For example, if you see yourself and then you are so proud of yourself, then what is the end result?
I grow more.
What is the end result?
I grow more.
You grow more.
Yeah,
But you are
because
the one
are
who
you not
has,
supposed to be proud of yourself?
you are
Are
the
you
one,
not
you are the one who has spoken and said, pride goes before.
a fall?
Yeah. So what is the end result?
I don't.
Because now we have to think.
No, let me ask
We
you.
have to think.
True, you have agreed, pride goes before a fall. That is so true, it is written. But now, if I cannot be a champion of being proud of myself or where I'm coming from and the little things I'm able to conquer, then who else will be?
Then I have a question. Have you ever seen any proud person who esteems other people to be better than themselves?
It depends from where and how you're brought up.
But
If
have you
I
ever,
know championing you will make me more better, why not champion you?
Thank you. But forget about whoever is championing you. When you stand before other people, what do you always think about yourself?
What
You are
am I?
better than them. That's why you cannot accommodate the views of other people. You always want to fight other people. And at this point, it's when now we come to this kind of a mind education in the topic of having a right heart. People who have a right heart, they have main characters. Number one, they don't listen to other people. And one of the main things that they do, they are looking for people who are either same level like them or less than them so that they may dominate everything. If it's a talk, they want to dominate everything. Have you ever met with a person who, before even you start giving a story, they say, iyo najua, and then they start speaking about it. It's as if you want, who was speaking? Who brought up the story? It's you, but somebody has just come up, and then they say, iyo najua, and then they start speaking
Allow
about
me
it.
to interact you because I agree about the school of thought of if I do not revere the other people, then I look for the caliber of people I will associate myself with will be of lower in terms of thinking and everything, and I'll be the higher so that I can dominate over them. But again, with that kind of mindset, I cannot grow. But don't you think this is what now we are talking about today, about the toxic masculinity? Because if I'll be looking for those who are lower than me so that I can be able to dominate over them, that is why the masculinity comes in. Me as Eunice, I'll be toxic to them because I'll be just be looking down on them and being there, proud of myself in a good way, but also in a negative way because of, now this one goes beyond pride, the ego. Because I think there is a thin line between the two. Because I can be proud positively just of accepting or knowing of the achievements that I've been able to conquer or the milestones that I've been able to overcome. But now when the ego comes with it, then it's something different. It escalates now to be the pride that we are talking of. Pride comes before a fall. Yes.
And that's why I'm saying, when you think about yourself and when you talk about esteeming other people to be better than you, you have to think about two things that are very important. One, if you want to grow, you have to associate yourself with people who are better than you.
True.
Why do you associate yourself with people who are better than you? It is simply because they know better than you do. That's why you can listen to them. If you associate yourself with people who are lesser than you, what do?
You belittle them more.
Yes.
And
And then that time you
them.
start thinking that you know. And then there is this part in the Bible which says, if any man thinks that he knows anything, he knows nothing yet as he ought to know. Which means no matter how much you really want to feel like you know, God never wanted people to reach to that point. He wanted everyone to live like a student. But when I look at many people, You know just a little thing, but you want to make everybody to become a nobody because of that one thing that you know. If I would say you rate yourself in a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think you would rate yourself?
2.
2. And what do you think other people would rate you? You know, it's better for people to rate you than you rating yourself. Sometimes we want to rate ourselves to be in a higher position than where we are. And then when you meet with people in the society and then they rate you at a lower mark than what you think of yourself, then from that time, you become isolated. And when you get isolated, there is one more character that comes from isolation. You only live in the world of your own self. You don't listen to other people. You think you know everything, and everything that you know is the right thing. And because of that, we have seen many people committing suicide. Why are they committing suicide? Do you think they're committing suicide because they are the only people who are living in such a scenario? Do you think they are the only people who are living in such an environment? No, it's not. It's simply because of this one thing that they think they are right. And then because of that, they isolated themselves, because if they meet with people who are better than them, then they cannot live with such people. Simply because of one thing. People who have a right mind never listen to others. Why do we have so many fights? Why do we have so many domestic violence all over? It is simply because one part of that family, either the man or the woman, coming back to our main topic, started to think, why are we calling it toxic masculinity? It is simply because you started thinking that you are better than any other person, and then from that time, you want to dominate everything.
Sure.
So you are living in a world of your own. Simply because you never met a person who is better than you. If you want to kill all this, then you have to associate yourself with families that are better than your family.
I have a question. I agree with what you've said. Rightfully it is. But now, if I want to associate with you, Benjamin, who is more intelligent than me, who is more wise than me, who is more, name it, high in statures, having a, that is why we have role models. But in most cases, if I get to choose you to be my role model, I even don't tell you. Neither do you know that I've chosen you to be my role model. We do not send application, nor do we have where we send application to choose role model? I don't think so. But now, if I come to you and talk to you and tell you, I revere you and I would want you to mentor me to be my role model, in most of the cases, this person ends up turning you down because they, in most, not all, but most try to look at it and say, I cannot associate with you. We are not of the same class. So do we say. Now, that may demoralize me, and I'll be like, want to prove you wrong, that I can also be more than you. Hence, if table turns and I'm way better than you in years to come, then there is no way we'll sit in the same table and have a peaceful conversation. Then where are we headed? If I am looking at you to be my mentor and I come to you, if I look at you as my mentor and do not talk to you about it, we are at peace. We'll do everything together. Simply because from your mind, I'm lower than you. But if I come and tell you, we have the insecurity of this person wants to surpass me. That is the insecurity we are having in our society today. And I think that is the problem that we are having, hence having the toxic masculinity. Because even in relationships, if I share with you a revise share with my husband my ideas and end up being better than his, then by the end of the day, he's like, you want to overtake or dominate over me? That is how it starts. Hence bringing what we are discussing now.
When we talk about mind education, there is one topic we call wisdom. And then wisdom is to know your shortcomings. True wisdom is to know your shortcomings. Why is it that true wisdom is to know your shortcomings? The moment you realize that you have weaknesses, then your ears become open to listen to other people. So many people, they don't know what wisdom, yes, of course they have knowledge of many things, and knowledge you can get it from books. But wisdom does not come from books. Wisdom, one is to realize your shortcomings and your lackings. The moment you realize your shortcomings and lackings, then you become a person who really wants to receive grace from other people. And then there is another lesson we call listening or communication. In the corporate world, they call it communication. When we come back to the spiritual world, we call it listening. Listening, you know, there is one book, a Chinese book, which is called Core of Leadership. You know, it is borrowed, the word listening is borrowed from a Chinese character. And then this Chinese character has three major things. It has the ears, it has the eyes, and then it has the mouth. So this word listening is a combination of three, which means when a person is listening to you, they don't just listen with the ears. They listen with the mouth, and also they listen with the heart and the eyes, isn't it? You know, let me ask you, Eunice. You know, everybody who is listening to you, they may pretend that they're listening to you. There are 5 ways of listening. Number 1, there is ignore, pretend, selective, attentive, and then empathic listening. The best part of listening is level number 5. But, you know, after going about mind education for quite some time, when I look at people, I can tell this person, even though they pretend that they are listening to me, I'm very sure that this person is not listening to me. But people who are listening to you, especially, let's say, when I come to you and then I'm talking about information of a dead person, you listen with your eyes looking at me. And then, even, let's not talk about that. Why did God give us 2 ears and 1 mouth? He really wanted us to listen more and to speak less. Sure. But let me ask you, even you, Eunice, are you that kind of a person who wants to listen more, or are you that kind of a person who wants to speak more?
To listen more.
To listen more. Everybody would say that, but when you sit with them, you will realize that that person wants to speak more than listening. And then because of that, conflict comes from where? As we speak, actually there is one part of the Bible. The Bible is a very good book, actually. And it adds all the wisdom of God.
With that wisdom, I'd want you to share that wisdom when you come back after this short break. Viewer, I hope you're learning as much as I am. Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.